this edition of the Readiness Report. I'm Specialist Erica Zhao.
And I'm Staff Sergeant Dennis Turner.
Coming up, we have the Keystone Training Facility grand opening, a first-hand look at the U.S. Army Reserve testing out the new Army Combat Fitness Test, and we'll visit the Meet Your Army Week in Boston.
But first, we're going to Fort Knox, where the Army is kicking off its Best Warrior competition with Sergeant Sal Ottaviano.
Here at the Best Warrior competition at Fort Knox, Kentucky, soldiers try to score high on a wide range of challenging events, like high rope rappelling from the tower. Soldiers come from 8 Army Reserve commands to put their knowledge, skills, and abilities to the test for the 2019 Combined Best Warrior competition. More than 60 competitors committed to the challenge of nearly 30 events, which test the soldiers' tasks and drills of today's Army operations in a high-energy environment.
Move. The energy level, the excitement, the motivation of the soldiers has been huge. They're really excited to get out of the office, or if that's their job or wherever they work.
Events include weapons assembly, ruck march, grenade qualification course, physical fitness, water survival skills, uniform inspection, weapons firing.
They're getting to do things that soldiers dream of getting to do. They're getting to rappel. Today they're going to go up in a helicopter and get to rappel from a helicopter. There are soldiers who spend their whole career who don't get to do things like that.
When you ask any one of these competitors, they'll tell you the same thing. They want to be challenged.
Too easy.
The top 2 best scoring soldiers, 1 enlisted and 1 non-commissioned officer from each command, each receive prestigious honors and awards for their achievements and go on to the USARC level Best Warrior competition in June 2019 at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Inspiration, motivation, and drive. All part of being a warrior. When you talk to Sergeant Christine Wan, you quickly find out that she's no exception.
2008, there were wars going on. A lot of soldiers were deployed to Afghanistan and Iraq. I got opportunity to serve this country with my musical talent.
Sergeant Wan is from the 99th Readiness Division as a musician from the 78th Army Band in Fort Totten, New York.
My MOS is a 42 Romeo, and I play flute.
Coming from a South Korean background, her quest to grow as a soldier brought her to the Army Reserve Best Warrior competition at Fort Knox, Kentucky.
This is really good opportunity to push myself, and this is not just about the competition. I learn and see how far I can go.
The competition brings together warriors who represent their Army Reserve units and tests their soldier knowledge, skills, and abilities.
I'm going to the helicopter, and jumping out of the helicopter I've never done, but I'm very nervous, but I want to challenge myself.
At first, her family saw a different path for her life, but fighting for freedom was something more meaningful to Sergeant Wan.
There were a lot of soldiers who were getting deployed, and I wanted to be part of the team. So instead of going to the college, I just followed my gut to join the Army, and my mom was very surprised. And even my school teacher told me not to go to Army because it's dangerous, but I just wanted to be see what I can do for this country. I just wanted to be a good citizen and be part of the team. I felt like as a team we would get more stronger, and I want to grow more and have more experiences through the Army.
Sergeant Wan is proud of her accomplishments, her family is proud, and the U.S. Army Reserve is proud. Here at the U.S. Army Reserve Center in Fort Knox, Kentucky, I'm Sergeant Sal Ottaviano. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sergeant Ottaviano, and good luck, Sergeant Wan, on your next stage of the competition. Coming up next, soldiers are testing out the new ACFT.
Today's Army Reserve covers more than 20 time zones across 5 continents. We are a battle-tested force facing a future with sophisticated adversaries. we must shift our focus and continue to adapt. We must be physically fit, mentally tough, and determined to defeat the enemy and dominate our foes. America's Army Reserve, the most capable, combat-ready, lethal Federal Reserve Force in the history of the nation.
The ACFT is one of the most highly discussed topics as of late. Many soldiers wonder how they will fare in the new testing. The 362nd MPAD out of Londonderry, New Hampshire gives us the scoop on the new field of the ACFT.
Go. Let's go. Sprint, sprint. Keep pushing. There you go.
So we're in Londonderry, New Hampshire, one of the 4 Army Reserve locations that are doing the pilot for the Army Combat Fitness Test, which becomes the Army's test of record in October of 2020. As I walk around the battlefield, I hear trepidation. Anytime a soldier is expected to do something new, there's a certain level of trepidation. So we're exposing them to these 6 events that are required for this ACFT to dispel any myths and to show them that they can be successful and successfully complete the Army Combat Fitness Test as an indicator of readiness for the Army Reserve.
I mean, change is naturally going to be distressing, I think, for anybody, especially something that's physical and it's going to test you a little bit more. But take it as an opportunity to learn and better yourself. These are all events that are functional, that can help you outside in your real life and in your combat fitness. So take this as an opportunity to learn who you are, where you might be lacking a little bit, and to kind of improve yourself and grow.
The Army Combat Fitness Test is a series of 6 events that test the soldiers' ability to perform their wartime functions. What's important to point out about the Army Combat Fitness Test is as we transition from the Army PT test, it's more of an accurate predictor of a soldier's ability to perform their wartime functions, which is what the Army needs.
I thought the ACFT was a really great and new way to test soldiers' abilities, especially in a combat environment. I think that this test really encompasses a lot of different workouts that the original APFT didn't necessarily have. This test is definitely not something that you can just walk into without any prior knowledge or training. You really have to work out and exercise, talk to battle buddies, talk to fitness enthusiasts that really know what they're doing, so you can make those gains.
These 6 events are challenging. I've taken this once before at Fort Eustis, Virginia with Command Sergeant Major Copeland, the Army Reserve Command Sergeant Major. We know there's some trepidation in the field, and we're here to expose the soldiers to the Army Combat Fitness Test. If you do the exercises in PRT and you train on this on a daily basis, when you're away from the unit, you can be successful at doing this test. And we're going to show this today.
That doesn't look too hard.
I'm pretty excited about the deadlift. I think I can max it.
You could probably max the whole thing. Speaking of soldiers doing amazing things, the Keystone Local Training Area, which has been partially closed for many years as engineers have tirelessly worked on upgrading and fixing the area, has finally reopened and is ready for soldiers to start training closer to home.
The U.S. Army Reserve zeroed in on readiness during a ribbon-cutting ceremony April 26th for the Keystone Local Training Area in western Pennsylvania.
This is an area where we will be training, and usually units from within 2 to 3 hours of this area driving time will be able to come here and just come in for a weekend and do a whole lot of work in a short amount of time. It's saving taxpayer dollars. It's improving training time. So I've got a limited amount of time with a soldier, and I've got more time with them training rather than sitting on a bus or a plane or driving a long distance. That is huge for us.
Keystone LTA is a 500-acre Army Reserve training area located approximately 90 minutes north of Pittsburgh and 60 minutes south of Erie. Its location allows for numerous units to be able to minimize travel time and maximize in-the-field training time.
Our most important mission is to provide ready soldiers to fight today. And that's what we're doing, and this contributes directly towards that.
Keystone was shut down in 2012 due to needed refurbishments. In 2018, the 99th Readiness Division coordinated with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to begin a troop construction project to bring the training area
up to current standards.
General Lucky's goal is to make sure we make the most effective use of our time and our money so that we are able to have trained soldiers out there and prepared to deploy anywhere in the world on short notice, and this contributes to that.
Wow, it looked like we'll be able to get a lot of training done in our own backyard. Next, we're going to take a look at a soldier who is pushing his limits as a full-time student and a cameraman at a local television station.
My name is Sergeant David Graves. I'm a broadcast journalist in the Army Reserves with the 372nd Mobile Public Affairs Detachment out of Nashville, Tennessee. That ability to create something out of nothing and tell soldier stories just drew me in. So you kind of get to experience everything the Army has to offer. The things that I've been able to see and be a part of, it's a countless list. I'm currently enrolled at Middle Tennessee State University. My time overseas has allowed me to have all the benefits in the world to go to school, so I'm getting a world-class education and getting paid to do it. The civilian world job I have is kind of analogous to what I do in the Army. So I work at Fox 17 News. It's a local news station in Nashville with my best friend who's also in the same unit as me, Sully. We are essentially brothers, and we do damn near everything together. So now we're both at Fox News. We already have 2 deployments under our belt, and then give it a year and a half, and then another deployment comes up. Kuwait, we went to explore 18 countries in 9 months in the Middle East, and came back and slid right back into our roles at Fox. Journalism is usually a degree-only field. If it wasn't for the things that I have done, the products that I've produced for the military, I would not have the civilian job I have. I would definitely recommend doing this for the Army. The civilian side of journalism is very difficult to break into. They want that experience because you're not just a 22-year-old kid just graduated school. You're somebody that is disciplined, knows the job, and can do the job in any situation, anywhere in the world.
Coming up after the break, the Meet Your Army Week kicks off in Boston, and a look into the new resiliency training.
This U.S. Army Reserve application allows you to stay connected, informed, engaged, and on top of your agenda. With it, you can follow the news and share your favorite articles with other members. It's now much easier to join conversations and be part of a wide range of communities. You can also create your own group and add members. Locate nearby members on the map and find support services close to you. Check into locations to receive relevant information, training schedules, and also mark yourself as safe in emergency situations. Easily keep track of your fitness levels with our Army Physical Fitness Test. Challenge yourself and compete against other members in multi-discipline sports. Explore extensive resources at your fingertips. The new U.S. Army Reserve Double Eagle app. Download it today.
Meet Your Army Week kicked off for the first time in Boston as part of an Army outreach effort in order to connect the community and its citizens with the Army they haven't met yet. Major General Pauser kicked off the Meet Your Army Week at the city's historic Faneuil Hall. He said the Army Reserve has a strong presence here in Boston and throughout Massachusetts. Meet Your Army Week hosted events across the city that included performances from the U.S. Army Reserve 78th Army Band, the 6th String Soldiers, and aerial jumps by the Black Daggers from the U.S. Army Special Operations Parachute Demonstration Team. Through a special expo exhibit, the Boston community had the opportunity of trying on the latest Army technology and gear.
Recently, the 99th Readiness Division's Casualty Assistance Office helped bring peace to a family after losing their beloved soldier 73 years ago. Air Force Captain Lawrence Dixon, a Tuskegee Airman, was declared missing in action after his plane crashed in Europe in December 1944. In November 2018, his remains were identified using the latest DNA tests, making him the first to be identified out of more than 24 Tuskegee Airmen declared missing in action during World War II. The 99th Readiness Division's own Major Philip Richardson was a casualty assistance officer who assisted Captain Dixon's family as he was laid to rest.
So for me, it's more focus on her and bring closure to her family and the excitement in her eyes and the pleasure on her face and how proud she was of her dad. and getting that story out.
Dixon was finally buried in Arlington National Cemetery on March 22nd.
Resiliency is a term most echoed throughout the Army, and the Strong Bonds team is finding new ways on enhancing our Army family through resiliency.
Are you aware of a way for your family to build better communication skills and establish a better foundation? The 99th Readiness Division Strong Bonds team is providing these skills through a unique way.
I just think this is a great resource. I mean, it's an awesome program with some very valuable tools that soldiers and their spouses can take back, home with them and continue to work on.
We want families to be together. We want examples of families working together, and that's something that we even build into the structure or the fabric of our program itself.
This program amplifies the individual soldier and the family member's readiness through a retreat format, allowing soldiers to train while spending valuable time with their families.
This gives you the opportunity, I mean, it's called Strong Bond, so you're building strength, you're strengthening your family, you're strengthening your own resilience, which, that's what we need soldiers to do. I mean, in order to fight and survive on the battlefield, they need to not have to worry about what's going on with their families. They don't, family issues can really tear a soldier down.
Reporting for the 99th Readiness Division, I'm Sergeant Timothy Adkins.
That concludes this edition of the Readiness Report.
Make sure to see these stories and more at our Divids page at www.dividshub.net/unit/99RD. For the 99th Readiness Division, I'm Specialist Erica Zhao.
And I'm Staff Sergeant Turner. Thank you for watching.